Hey guys, how's it going? Many of you were asking what is the best way, what is the best practice to memorize the fretboard? And in this video, I'm going to share a great practice with a written assignment to actually reinforce it and create the pathways in the brain to properly visualize the fretboard. This is a system that I am teaching in the one-on-one classes that I do, and it works really well. You have to make a bit of time and consistency in order to really get it in your system, but it works. And why is it so important and so helpful to memorize the note names across the fretboard? Well, if you want to improvise, then you really want to know the fretboard pretty well, because actually what is improvisation is basically about being able in real time to take the chord patterns, the arpeggio patterns or the scale patterns, and apply them right away to the correct root of the chords that are being played. So you basically need to know very well the shapes of the different types of chords, major, minor, minor seventh, etc., and the root names. Okay, if you know the root names and you know the type of chord, then you can basically play anything anywhere on the fretboard. Now let's see how that works. I'm going to share my screen. Alright, fretboard memorization practice. So the first thing we have here is the fretboard map. This is a tool that we're going to use at first until we actually have it internally. And as you can see, I chose a map that also has the fretboard numbers, the fret numbers, so it's a little bit easier to work with. So let's just briefly explain what we see here in the fretboard map. What we see here are the open strings, the one where my mouse is right now. The top one, this is the first string, so the one that's closest to the floor. And here we see the note names across the string. The way we're going to memorize the fretboard is we're going to do it one string at a time, and I suggest to do something like, let's say, every 2 days, focus on one string and then change it, and take something like 15 minutes to do the practice that I'm just going to show you. So let's start with the first string and let's explore the system. So the system is this. We are studying the first octave, which is from the open string until the 12th fret. This is an octave, 12 notes. And the first thing we do is we build 3 anchors, 3 anchor points for each string. The anchor points are written here. 0 means open string, so that's the E note. 7th fret, that's more or less the middle of the string, that's the B note on the first string. And the octave, which is the 12th fret, is again an E note. Alright, this is, you want to know by heart. So as you come to practice this, you first go like, okay, open string E, 7th fret B, 12th fret, octave, E again. That's for the first string. And then you start to practice. So write down the fret number, and the first question is A sharp. Okay, so this is how it looks like internally. You ask yourself first, is A sharp closer to E, B, or E? Alright, so we want to know which of the anchors the A sharp is the closest to. So think about it for a second, E or B, A sharp is closer to B. So you calculate from the B. So you go, okay, if B is the 7th fret, then A sharp would be the 6th fret. Alright, that's the process. If I would tell you E flat, second example, alright, we look at the fretboard again, we ask ourselves first, is E flat closer to E or to B? Or to the high E? It's closer to E than to B, so we want to calculate it from the E. And now the question is, do we want the low E, the open string, or the high E, the 12th? So because it's a flat, we would have to calculate it from the 12th down. Okay, because flat is half tone, 1 fret down the fretboard. Right, so we cannot do it from the open string, we will have to go to the next string. So we go to the 12th fret, which is an E, and we flatten it, so 1 fret below, and we get the 11th. Okay, that's the system. The reason, the logic behind the system is that if you're always calculating from the first string, it simply takes too much time for the brain. You know, think about it. If I ask you to play a C note and you start to go E, F, G, A, B, it simply takes too long. So we are building the habit for the brain to first check which anchor point is the closest to the note that we are seeking, and then calculate from there. And this assignment, I made you here a file with assignments for all of the strings, and there are answers at the end of the document. So you can check yourself. These assignments you want to do mentally, so you can actually do this even without the guitar. It's actually better because it's a mental thing. We want to first work on the brain, and only then, so you can do first, take a week to do these practices only with a pen and paper, and then try to do it with the guitar. But basically you want the calculation to be done mentally, and then the brain is like, okay, 8th fret. Then, only then the finger starts to move to the 8th fret. Okay, that's the most fast way to do it. So this is the practice. Let me know if you have any questions. This is a great practice, okay? I taught it to many people that I work with one-on-one, and this is great. But you have to do it, okay? You have to do it every day. If you do it for a few weeks every day, you will know the fretboard really well. Okay, give it a try, let me know how it's going, and I look forward to hearing from you.